In this podcast episode, Dr. Tara Swart, a leading neuroscientist and Oxford-trained psychiatrist, embarks on an expansive exploration of human consciousness, intuition, grief, and the subtle ways the universe may communicate with us. Dr. Tara Swart opens the conversation by challenging the conventional notion that humans possess only 5 senses, revealing a far more intricate and sophisticated sensory apparatus within us. Citing scientific literature, she explains that humans may have between 22 to 34 distinct senses when considering both conscious and unconscious modalities. These include additional somatic senses, such as proprioception, awareness of body position, equilibrioception, balance, and interoception, internal bodily sensations, along with others that control internal states like blood pH and hunger. She also compares human senses to those of animals, highlighting how dogs and cats possess the ability to smell impending death, a phenomenon linked to their capacity to detect biochemical changes. This opens the possibility that humans, too, may harbor latent faculties that current science is only beginning to acknowledge. These hidden senses underscore an evolutionary complexity that suggests our perception of reality is more layered than traditionally believed, inviting curiosity about how much of our sensory experience remains untapped. At the heart of the episode is Dr. Swart's personal story of profound grief following the death of her husband, Robin, from leukemia. This loss propelled her into an intense investigation of what consciousness is, what happens after death, and whether communication with departed loved ones is possible. Narrating her own experiences, such as seeing signs like Robin's, symbolically linked to her husband's name, and even a vivid vision of him, she reveals how this journey transcended scientific skepticism and became a deep personal exploration. Despite her scientific background, Dr. Swart acknowledges the limits of empirical explanations in capturing the richness of such experiences, emphasizing the emotional significance and the sense of connection that persists beyond physical death. Her story illustrates the interplay between science and spirituality, showing that personal grief can open doors to broader inquiries about the nature of reality and consciousness that go beyond conventional paradigms. A significant portion of the dialogue centers around the philosophical and scientific debate concerning the nature of consciousness. Dr. Swart outlines the hard problem. Materialism holds that all consciousness arises solely from physical processes in the brain, whereas dualism proposes a separation between mind and matter, allowing for the possibility of the mind or soul persisting independently of the body. She notes that historically, dualism was the dominant worldview for most of human existence, and that materialism's supremacy is relatively recent. This shift profoundly shapes contemporary scientific thought and impacts how phenomena such as communication after death are perceived. By revisiting these foundational assumptions, Dr. Swart invites openness toward theories that place consciousness as a fundamental element of the universe, ideas still unproven but worthy of exploration. A central theme of the episode is the idea of signs, meaningful coincidences or synchronicities that may serve as messages from the universe or departed loved ones. Dr. Swart relates her experiences interpreting repeated, specific signals, such as numbers, nature symbols, or chance encounters, as signs from Robin. These occurrences feel too precise and timely to be dismissed as random chance. The conversation touches on Carl Jung's concept of synchronicity, emphasizing that such events defy mere coincidence and suggest a deeper underlying order or connection in the cosmos. Dr. Swart proposes that traditional linear concepts of time and causality may be insufficient to fully explain these phenomena, suggesting a more spiral or cyclical conception of time could account for meaningful repetitions. This broader perspective encourages a reconsideration of intuition and the unseen intelligence within or around us. Throughout the dialogue, the tension between logic and intuition emerges as a complex but vital dynamic. The host reflects on how an overly open mind may lose its discernment, while a purely rational mind may dismiss valuable intuitive insights. Dr. Swart acknowledges the importance of striking a balance, grounding intuition with self-awareness, and cautioning against the pitfalls of confirmation bias, where one sees only what they wish to see. By illustrating how deliberate intention setting can help differentiate genuine signs from mental constructions, Dr. Swart encourages a mindful approach to intuition. She offers practical examples of how making requests or setting parameters for signs, such as specific symbols or timing, can reduce ambiguity and foster clearer communication with one's internal or external environment. Ultimately, both reason and instinct have critical roles in processing subtle signals. Dr. Swart explores fascinating recent research on the body's role in storing trauma and processing life experiences beyond brain-based cognition. She highlights the serotonin hypothesis, which suggests that the majority of serotonin resides outside the brain, notably in the gut, affecting bodily functions such as blood flow and muscle tone. This offers insight into how trauma manifests physically, locked within the body's tissues rather than solely in brain circuits. This understanding underscores why somatic therapies, including yoga, massage, breathwork, and creative expression, are often more effective than talk therapy alone for deep emotional processing. Dr. Swart shares her personal journey with somatic healing following her loss, illustrating the profound connection between physical and psychological well-being, as well as the importance of tuning into bodily sensations as guides toward healing and intuition. The conversation addresses altered states of consciousness as portals to expanded awareness, with particular emphasis on both naturally induced and pharmacologically assisted states. Plant medicines like psilocybin, ketamine, and LSD are discussed for their effects on brain connectivity and problem-solving, alongside natural practices such as holotropic breathwork, time and awe-inspiring nature, and even artistic engagement. Dr. Swart shares that conscious connected breathing can induce brain states comparable to moderate doses of psychedelics, highlighting their transformative potential without medication. She also touches on ancient spiritual practices, such as darkness retreats, which simulate experiences akin to near-death states and catalyze profound inner encounters. These altered states can reshape perception, dissolve limiting beliefs, and facilitate personal and spiritual growth. Attention is given to the liminal states between wakefulness and sleep, particularly hypnagogic, falling asleep, and hypnopompic, waking up phases. These are identified as uniquely fertile moments for influencing subconscious processes, manifesting desires, and enhancing intuition. Dr. Swart suggests placing vision boards or action reminders near one's bed to imprint purpose into these transitional states. While dreams themselves were not deeply explored, a Tibetan doctor's perspective on dark retreats introduced the idea of dreams as journeys to other dimensions or mini-deaths, reinforcing the theme of consciousness existing beyond the material plane. These states offer windows into the unseen parts of ourselves and reality, serving as valuable tools for self-understanding and spiritual inquiry. Dr. Swart brings attention to the emerging field of neuroesthetics, which examines how exposure to art, beauty, and nature positively affects mental and physical health. Her research highlights Marion Diamond's landmark studies showing that enriched environments stimulate brain growth while impoverished ones cause atrophy. Even simple elements such as natural lighting, tactile materials, and real plants significantly uplift mood and cognitive function. She points out that incorporating beauty into our everyday environments, whether at home, work, or through art and music, activates neuroplasticity and increases feelings of gratitude and awe. This engagement with beauty triggers beneficial neurohormones like oxytocin, contributing not only to resilience, but also to an enriched experience of life. Such simple yet profound practices help reconnect us to ourselves, others, and the natural world. Among the senses, olfaction holds a particularly potent connection to memory and emotion due to its direct neurological pathways. Dr. Swart discusses olfactory enrichment, exposure to varied scents, as a promising tool for cognitive enhancement, showing significant improvements in memory and mental function, especially in older adults. Additionally, the role of pheromones in interpersonal attraction and immune health is discussed. Individuals subconsciously prefer partners whose immune system markers differ from their own, promoting genetic diversity in offspring. Smell thus functions not only as a sensory experience, but as a biological and emotional signal, shaping relationships and well-being, often beneath conscious awareness. A fascinating segment focuses on the subtle yet profound influence names and beliefs have on our identity and even our physiology. Dr. Swart shares the personal significance of her own name, representing strength and light, and contrasts it with the alternative name her parents considered, meaning illusion, highlighting how language carries embedded vibrations and cultural associations. The conversation extends into the idea that repeated emotional states, shaped by beliefs and experiences, physically alter facial musculature and appearance over time. Serotonin's role in muscle tone and mood provides a physiological link between mindset and facial expression. This dynamic underscores the tangible ways our internal narrative and self-perception literally sculpt who we are and how we present ourselves to the world.